Yes, the dance is on because we are live with a brand new episode of FYC. It is Sunday morning, and we have been so busy and all over the place, but we are so dedicated to making sure we stay on schedule with FYC that we woke up early on a Sunday morning. Well, Perri didn't because she's on the East Coast, but we are very excited to bring to you a brand new episode. We are covering Emmy season, the 77th primetime Emmy noms. I'm just kind of getting going on the coffee this morning. Happened on September 14th, 2025. The nominations were closing in. We're less than a month and a half away from the nominations. Actually, no, we are exactly a month and a half away from the nominations on July 15th. The amazing Perri Nemiroff, the mighty Jeff Snyder. Here we are to cover Best Actor in a Drama Series and Best Actress in a Drama Series. So let's start with Best Actor. Perri Nemiroff, how do you feel about the field overall? What do we think about Best Actor in a Drama Series?
I'm quite pleased with this group. Before you signed on, Mance, I was chit-chatting with Jeff that I'm finally doing the full Pitt binge. Mm-hmm. I had watched a little bit just to be in the know when it first started, but I haven't actually sat down and watched the whole thing, which was really good, and I can't stop.
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really great. I think, I think I know what your number one is. Jeff,
yeah,
how do you
do.
Overall, of Emmy nominees for Best Actor?
I think it's a good field. It's a strong field. A lot of big stars, recognizable stars. But I think that there's just one guy who's head and shoulders above everybody. I don't think this is a particularly competitive year.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I think there are really strong nominees in the field that will get nominated, or at least that we think are going to get nominated. But then the honorable mentions, it kind of tapers off there a little bit. So I want to point out Courtney Williams here in the live chat here, because we're doing this live, says that Perri resembles Anna Kendrick. I don't know.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Even in my sweatshirt and my hat.
Okay, well, we love it. All right, so Perri, we're guessing that Noah Wyle.
Without a doubt. And I want to see it happen so badly. I think he's phenomenal in the show. And I mean, this extends to me being wowed about many aspects of the production, but that show seems like it's just so incredibly important to have him function as a really good anchor that brings everything together so it all feels whole. So I think he does that really well. I think he crushes his own individual scenes really well. And as someone who grew up loving ER, it is so nice to see him back in one of these settings and soaring yet again. I'm rooting for him big time.
So Noah Wyle was Noah Wyle nominated 5 times for playing John Carter on ER. He was nominated 5 years in a row between 1995 and 1999. That is very impressive. Jeff, is Noah Wyle on your list? If so, where is he?
He is number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
I think this dude has the Emmy in the bag. I thought he was incredible on the show. The show is fantastic. Every time I got a screener, it was time to drop everything and watch The Pitt. I never had the experience of I've got a cool new episode of The Pitt waiting for me. I didn't do any waiting. Okay.
Wow.
It was great. And I'm so glad it's coming back for a second season. And he totally deserves this.
I agree. He's number one on my list as well. But you never know what could happen. I mean, like I said, this is a strong field for the nominees that we think are going to make the list here. Because I don't know. I have Noah Wyle at number one. But Jeff, who does number 2 work for?
I'm going to say number 2 at this point, even though I have not seen the second season. I think it's Adam Scott for Severance. Yep. I think that is probably his biggest competition. But, Noah Wyle's the new kid on the block with the Pitt. And there won't be any Pitt maneuver from Adam Scott.
Wow. Okay. I have Adam Scott at number 2 as well. He's a prior Emmy nominee for this category for Severance, not last year, but when it was nominated before. And he was also nominated as an executive producer. So he's actually a 2-time nominee. Perri, where is Adam Scott from Severance on your list?
Number 2, again, I think this is Noah Wyle's win, but I do think it's a sure thing that he's number 1 and then Adam Scott's number 2. And then I have a feeling the rest of our list, maybe some people might shift around a little bit.
Did you guys think season 2 of Severance was better than the first season?
It's fun.
I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, but
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with it thus far.
It's funny, Jeff. I like season 2 of Severance better than the first season, but there are people who do think that season 2 is better, and there are people who think that it's not as good as the first season. So if the Emmy voters think that season 2 is better, if the majority of them feel that way, then Adam Scott could be the number 1 pick here for Severance. We'll just have to see how that plays along, especially when the nominations are announced on July 15th. But right now, I think we're in cahoots here that Noah Wyle and Adam Scott have number 1 and number 2. Okay, then Perri Nemiroff, who's your number 3?
Again, I think Noah Wyle is winning this, and the order, the rest of our order kind of doesn't really matter. So I have decided to lean towards my heart versus necessarily picking the next person with the best chance of getting a nomination. But I also think his nomination is guaranteed. I went with Diego Luna for Andor. I think Andor season 2, and I guess the whole show overall, I think it's a masterpiece. I think his work is just absolutely brilliant. He crushes some of the more bombastic scenes, but there's also so much like subtlety and nuance to his performance that really speak to the pressures one can be under when fighting a fight that he is in that situation. And I don't know, I just think he's delivering brilliant work in an exceptional Star Wars series, and that's a really exciting sentence for me to say.
Well, I agree. I have Diego Luna at number 3 as well. And Andor isn't just an exceptional Star Wars series. It's an exceptional television series, period. I mean, this was really next level stuff. I know it's sort of a cliche to say that whatever comes out Star Wars wise, movie or TV series, people go, oh, it's the best thing since The Empire Strikes Back. But Andor really is the best thing to happen to Star Wars since The Empire Strikes Back. And look, Cassian Andor is, a lot of people have been saying this on social media since season 2 wrapped up on Disney Plus, that Cassian Andor is right there with Luke Skywalker as probably the most significant hero leader in the Star Wars galaxy far, far away, as we close in on the 50th anniversary of Star Wars just 2 years from now. Jeff, IanSnyder.com, is Diego Luna on your list? If so, where is he?
So I don't watch Andor.
Ah, dude, you're missing out.
That's what I've heard. I've actually given serious thought to being like, okay, maybe I should just dive in and try this.
Do it, Jeff.
Right now, I have him at number 1 honorable mention.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't have him on the list. I could be convinced to put him on in place of my number 6, but I have him on the bubble right now. I don't know that he's a sure thing, like a number 3, number 4 contender, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he was nominated.
I feel like the show has gotten even more accolades than the first season got. And the first season did get nominated for Outstanding Drama Series. Diego Luna did not get nominated as an actor for the first season, but he did get nominated as an executive producer. So there's that. But
I'll admit that number 3 might be a little high, but I think it's just a done deal that at the very least he is going to get.
I mean, I've heard he's great and that the show is great. The question is, like, if he wasn't nominated last year, like, are more Emmy voters suddenly watching season 2 just because
they are
great reviews?
Yeah. I think again, I am always very hesitant to use the word masterpiece because when I say it, I want it to mean something, and that word is all over the place, and it really is exceptional. And Jeff, I know you don't necessarily veer towards Star Wars often, but this is one of those things that I would highly recommend. One, because it's a great series, but also I think you would fare pretty well just watching Andor, even if you've seen nothing else. And I also think that's something that's going to serve it in this race, especially.
I like Rogue One too. Like, that's good. So again, this summer, if it gets pretty slow, which it tends to do during the summer, I may actually dive in and watch that.
Well, we fully support your being on the fence and leaning towards falling into the pool of Andor, Jeff. And look, I mean, you really don't need to see anything else Star Wars wise to enjoy Andor, although the way it kind of leads into Rogue One is actually pretty awesome. Not just Rogue One, but A New Hope, the original.
Okay, so Perri has him at number 3. What number is he on your list, Mance?
He's number 3.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Mance and Perri are cahoots here. All right. Then, Jeff, who is your number 3, buddy?
My number 3 is Sterling K. Brown for Paradise,
Yep.
which is a show that I think is going to surprise people at the Emmys this year in terms
Perri?
of nominations.
I think you could be right. I have Sterling K. Brown at number 5 right now, but admittedly, I toyed with the idea of putting him at 3, at 4. I think he is going to get this nomination.
Yes, and the Emmys love Sterling K. Brown for Paradise. I have him at number 4. Paradise is streaming on Hulu. Excellent show. Excellent show. Sterling K. Brown is a 3-time Emmy winner for This Is Us, also American Crime Story when they covered the OJ thing, and for a best voiceover for Lincoln Divided We Stand. And he is also, just last year, or the year before, actually, he was an Oscar nominee for supporting actor for American Fiction. So he's doing exceptional work. I have him 4. So he is definitely on our list. My number 3 is I'm sorry. My number 5 is Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman for Slow Horses. Is he on either of your lists? He's your 4, Perri.
4.
Jeff?
I have him at number 6 this year.
Okay.
So he's the one who I would be willing to swap out for Diego Luna. I just don't. I mean, I know that Slow Horses has its fans, but it also seems like it's been around a while. And I don't feel that it's necessarily gaining any steam or awards momentum, which is why I have him down at 6.
Okay, Gary Oldman is a prior Emmy nominee for actor drama in this category. He's also a prior Emmy nominee for, I had no idea until I was doing my homework on this. Back in 2001, he was nominated for guest actor in a comedy series for Friends. So what? But of course, he is also an Oscar winner, best actor for 2017's Darkest Hour, playing Winston Churchill. And that's one of those movies where, like, even halfway through the film, you're going, he's winning the Oscar all the way. But I think Gary Oldman's definitely getting nominated. It's a show that is certainly acclaimed, and maybe because, after you get past 6 and 7, it's not super competitive in the honorable mention. So I think he definitely gets in to our Emmy nominees for the 6th.
How many nominees are there? I have 6.
There's 6.
Okay, and you guys had Gary Oldman at 4?
I have him at 5.
I have him at 4. I have Sterling K. Brown at 5.
Okay.
All right, Perri, who's next on your list that we did not get to?
Here's one that's been a little bit of a blind spot for me, but seems to be doing fairly well, or looking like it could have a chance of scoring some nominations in this space. I'm going with Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal. And I was a little torn between him and someone else who wound up being my number 1 honorable mention, but it almost feels like he's an honorable mention, like an obligatory one, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'll get to it when we get to our honorable mention discussion, but I feel like I'm going to keep Eddie Redmayne at my number 6 for Day of the Jackal.
How about you, Jeff? Where's Eddie Redmayne on your list?
Number 5.
Hey.
Everything is in its right place, including Eddie Redmayne, baby.
Okay.
The show was awesome. I love The Day of the Jackal. It was a total surprise. One of the best things Peacock has ever done, and certainly Eddie Redmayne's best performance. Showed me a completely different side of him in this. So I have him at 5.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little iffy for me. I have Eddie Redmayne on my honorable mention, but I could easily move him up because I agree with you, Jeff. This show is a surprise, and his performance, I mean, look, he's already an Oscar winner for The Theory of Everything when he played Stephen Hawking. But I mean, he's got such range. He really, really does. And he really was spectacular in The Day of the Jackal. It's streaming on Peacock. If you have Peacock, you should definitely check it out. I have him in my honorable mention. I could easily move him up. Perri, did you say you had him on your list?
He is my number 6.
All right. My number 6 is actually an actor who I adore. I have just been a fan of his since I saw the first episode of Mad Men, where he was nominated. He was nominated he has 13 prior Emmy nominations as an actor for not only Mad Men, but for The Morning Show, Fargo, 30 Rock, and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He is an Emmy winner for the final season of Mad Men. And I really got into Your Friends and Neighbors which is streaming on Apple TV Plus. The last episode just dropped about a week ago, and 9 episodes, your friends and neighbors. Every episode just takes you places where you don't expect the show to go, and the payoff on episode 9. Now I know why they held it off of the press site, because it is a great reveal that I didn't see coming. But John Hamm is fantastic in Your Friends and Neighbors, and the TV Academy obviously really, really loves him. Either of you have him on your list or no?
So part of me was gonna say, I don't know if that show has made enough noise since it started.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm looking at certain resources that I have with charts, and it is frequently at the top for Apple TV Plus. So I don't know. I might be wrong. And obviously, given, John Hamm's history in this industry, I think I could see a world where things work in his favor in this category. He is a couple notches down on my personal honorable mention list right now, but I'm definitely willing to be convinced otherwise.
Jeff, how about you for John Hamm?
I'm high on John Hamm, baby. I got him at number 4.
Wow. Okay.
Number 4,
Hi.
John Hamm. This is a really good show. He's Mr. Television. You just read off all of his nominations for like half a dozen different shows.
Yes.
Poor guy can't get a great role on the big screen outside of the town, unfortunately. But I think what John Hamm does here, he shows a vulnerability that I haven't necessarily seen from him on the screen before. And I think he's very deserving. So I have him at 4 behind Sterling and above guys like Gary Oldman and Eddie Redmayne.
Okay, so I think between the nominees that we all 3 agree on, and then there are nominees that 2 of us agree on, I think we have like 7 people for 6 slots. But before
exactly. So Diego's my odd man out. Who's your odd man out?
My odd man out is Eddie Redmayne.
And Perri, yours?
And mine would be John Hamm.
Tough.
What do we do? So
can we include all 3 of those people and get rid of Gary Oldman?
Oh man. Well, gee. I would love to do that. I'd be convinced to do that.
Honestly, at this point in time, when we're going to have an opportunity to revisit, I'm not so mad at that, because I do feel like beyond my number 1 and 2, everyone's really close together. So what's the difference at this point?
All right. Well, so the other thing is just a couple other honorable mentions that I don't think really make the list here. Look, Pedro Pascal in season 1 of the Last of Us was fantastic, but without spoiling anything, okay. I mean, obviously, look, whatever. I mean,
who hasn't spoiled it at this point?
I don't want to take any chances on spoiling anything, but I just don't think, because of the direction his character takes, that he lands on lead actor in a drama series this year.
So he's who I was alluding to before as my number 1 honorable mention, and almost it feeling like an obligatory nomination, because I don't know, the more we cover the Emmys and the more I assess the reality of the amount of hours in the day, the more I'm kind of wrapping my head around how few shows voters probably actually watch. And I think that is a big one that's taking up a lot of space right now. And it might wind up giving him the nudge, although I do understand someone maybe thinking the exact opposite given the size of his role this season. So I'm teetering on the line with him, but I do think there's a very realistic chance he can get nominated here.
He absolutely a very realistic chance. Jeff, what's your take on Pedro Pascal getting nominated?
I think he's in the mix. I have him at 8, but I don't think he gets in. I actually think I don't know. We're getting a lot of Pedro Pascal around this voting period, right? Materialist is coming out soon. We're being bombarded with Fantastic Four ads. I think people may just be a little sick of Pedro Pascal, if I dare say that.
Be the opposite.
Well, look, this is what makes this the narrowing it down kind of fun. And also another show I really enjoyed was Landman. This is another sort of Taylor Sheridan show. It's like if you take away the horses of Yellowstone and put in oil, it's that's what Landman is. And Billy Bob Thornton is great in the show. It's like he's perfect for the role. But I don't know if he makes the cut. I mean, I think he should, but I just don't think he makes the cut. So okay, what if we go? All right, because again, I say this all the time. We can always come back and repick our nominees in this category, which we're going to do anyway, right before the Emmy nominees are announced on the 15th of July. Noah Wyle for The Pitt, Adam Scott for Severance, Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Diego Luna for Andor, John Hamm for Your Friends and Neighbors, and Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. And that is
poor Gary.
Oh, Paul. I was just going to say.
Worth addressing.
I was just going to say Lee Jung-jae for Squid Game. Yeah, but Squid Game the second season wasn't as revered as the first.
Yeah, he's great. And I still think that the second season is real damn good. The way that they found exciting ways narratively to continue that story without kind of taking away from what they accomplished with the first. I wouldn't mind seeing him get this nomination, but it seems like the award season fanfare, that conversation has taken on a different tone this time around. And even though I think a lot of the performances are still real good.
Yeah, I don't see season 2 of Squid Game being a big threat. I think that he could be nominated next year for season 3.
Okay. Do we have any super chats before we dive into Best Actress in a Drama?
Regular chats today.
Regular chats today. Okay. Well, in that case, let's move on to Best Act. Well, hang on. Before we do that, station identification here. Make sure you share FYC on your social media platforms. So people who have not yet discovered us, which how could that be possible after 7 seasons? But hey, that's the way it goes. Please share FYC on your social media so people can cover us during Emmy season and, of course, Oscar season, which is just a couple months away. Or has already started, though. If you look at Cannes, make sure you follow Perri Nemiroff on her social media, either P Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff. Make sure you follow Jeff Snyder on social media at The InSnyder. Make sure you subscribe to Jeff's newsletter, theinsnyder.com. Watch Jeff's other show with John Rocco on John Rocco's channel, which is The Hot Mic. Make sure you subscribe to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel, which you are watching right now. Just scroll down a little bit while we have you and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on all my social media, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, Friendster. I'm just joking about Friendster. At Movie Mance. All right, on with the show. Best Actor in a Drama Series. Jeff, who is your number 1 pick?
I do declare that it's Kathy Bates from Matlock. Can you believe it? A former Oscar winner. Matlock, exactly.
She's still an Oscar winner.
Huh?
She's still an Oscar winner.
Yes, of course. Yes, still an Oscar winner. Yes. I've never seen Matlock. I'm surprised anyone in our age bracket watches Matlock, but apparently it's a hip show.
Perri, where is Kathy Bates on your list?
I'm going to have to watch Matlock eventually. I haven't been watching any Matlock, but I can't stop watching Jason Ritter's TikTok page.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates is number 1.
Kathy Bates is number 1 look, she is a 2-time Emmy winner for American Horror Story and guest starring role on 2.5 Men. She has 12 additional Emmy nominations as an actress. And, of course, she is Academy Award winner for Best Actress in 1991's Misery, you dirty birdie. That movie still holds up. It is excellent. I have Kathy Bates at number 2, and here's why. I think Elisabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale has stuck the landing with this final season of The Handmaid's Tale. Now, here's the thing. She already won Best Actress in a Drama and, as an executive producer for the show as well in its first season back in 2017. But the show has been outstanding and has reinvented itself and is really, just stayed so relevant over these years. And I just think that this could be sort of the victory lap for the show that gives Elisabeth Moss a second Emmy win for Outstanding Drama. She also has been nominated as an actress 10 prior times. 7 of those nominations for playing Peggy Olson in one of my all-time favorite TV shows, which is Mad Men. Is it fair to say that even though Kathy Bates is definitely like sort of I don't want to say the new kid on the block, but certainly for this variation of Matlock, she is, that she would be in pole position over Elisabeth Moss or anyone else who.
I think Emmy voters are a little over this show. I have her
No.
I think that she's getting nominated, but I don't see her as a threat to win this award.
So I am very much not ready to be on Mance's side with this, but that show is exceptional, and it has never stopped being exceptional. And especially in addition to just delivering a show-stopping performance every single season, watching how Elisabeth Moss has grown behind the scenes as well, I feel like all of that's going to work in her favor. And while, again, I am not willing to say Elisabeth Moss over Kathy Bates right now, I do think there's a very real possibility between now and when voting is complete that we could see a pretty significant Handmaid's Tale resurgence in this space. It does feel like over the years, its noise in the Emmy space has dwindled a little, which I don't think is deserved whatsoever. Because again, I think it has kept the bar just as high as it set day one of the series run. But I feel like they had a pretty exceptional ending, and I wouldn't be surprised if the show winds up getting rewarded for it, not just with nominations, but a bunch of wins.
I agree completely.
What number is Elisabeth Moss for you?
3, right smack in the middle right now.
I have her at 4.
4. Wow. Yeah, I look, Elisabeth Moss, I mean, first of all, she is so much range. She does a lot of like independent films in between all of these great series that she's been doing, I mean, look, I feel like the fact that the show just ended its run while Emmy voters are gearing up to vote for the nominees, the timing is like, this is like the sweet spot. But look, I mean, who knows? But look, I think Elisabeth Moss and Kathy Bates are both getting nominated here for sure. And the listings could change, but I don't know if for a win, it is a slam dunk yet for Kathy Bates. But look, she really, really has a very strong shot, as does Elisabeth Moss. All right, then, Perri, who does number 2 work for?
I'm really liking the idea of keeping Severance at number 2. So right now I do have Britt lower there. I could be convinced to change the order a little, though. It feels to me like when Severance was running, it was like the hottest topic of conversation. I saw it everywhere, and it doesn't seem like it's maintained that momentum as well as maybe I would hope. So I do see a world where its chances are dipping in certain categories, but right now I'm still feeling pretty good about having her at number 2.
Number 2. I have Britt a little lower than you do. I have Britt a little lower than you do. All right.
I was going to say the same joke. You scooped me on my joke, man.
Sick. We're sick. I have her number 4, a strong number 4, because I mean, like, I do think that Severance season 2 was even better than the first season. But look, this is another category that has very, very strong contenders to make the cut. Where's Britt lower on your list, Mr. Snyder?
I have her at number 3.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. This is good. But
we haven't talked about my number 2 yet.
That's what I was going to ask.
Not. Who does number 2 work for?
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
From The Last of Us.
I like that.
Kidding.
I think this is a race between the young and the old. All due respect to Kathy Bates. It's between Bella and Kathy Bates. And I don't know that anyone else really has a chance.
Ooh.
Bella Ramsey is fantastic in this season. And Bella Ramsey has really taken sort of just ran with the show is all I'm going to say. Perri, where is Bella Ramsey on your list?
Bella's my number 4 right now. Just trying to, assess the minds of the voters. And obviously they're the newcomer in this pack. And, they're in the midst of a bunch of very heavy hitters with lengthy award season runs in their careers. So I'm not fully convinced on bumping them up just yet, but that's another one that I'm really looking forward to seeing how that conversation evolves, because I'm trying so hard to assess the situation. Now you made me super nervous about spoiling what's the most obvious thing in the
I
past couple
know.
of
I
weeks,
wouldn't be too
but
worried about that.
yeah, I
know.
like seeing them emerge as a powerhouse, and it does seem like they're making the most of that opportunity, and I look forward to seeing them rewarded for that.
Well, the second episode of the season for The Last of Us was like as good as TV gets. If you haven't yet watched the second season episodes of the Last of Us, the second episode of that second season, well, let's just say when you see it, you'll know why we were so dicey about spoiling anything. But all right then.
All right,
Jeff.
so we have the same top 4 then.
Yeah, we
Yes,
could
we
lock
do.
those in.
Correct. But who's your
Okay.
number 5, mister?
Oof, my number 5 will make Perry happy. It's
Ooh,
Melanie Linsky from Yellow Jackets.
you actually
Another
have
show I
higher
don't
than I
watch.
do. You should.
I
watch
have
Yellow
Melanie
Jackets.
Linsky at number 6.
So do I.
She is a 3-time Emmy nominee, 2 of them for Yellow Jackets, 1 for The Last of Us. Is that her performance in
Mhm.
Last of Us was like crazy good, and that she did that in the middle of Yellow Jackets. Perry, you have Melanie Linsky at number 5. I know.
No,
that
I have her at number 6.
Oh, I know you love. The show.
I do. I love the show, and obviously that means I want to see it rewarded with nominations all over the place. Admittedly, some of the discourse with season 3 has made me a little nervous about its Emmy chances, but I also think they are playing things well where it's hanging on just enough that I think it could break into a couple of categories. And I was wondering if, maybe the timing of their season 4 renewal announcement was to give it a little boost when it needed it most in this conversation, and maybe that's helped a little. But one of the things that I struggle with Melanie Linsky in particular in this category is like her character has gone off the rails in a way that I think the show does well justify, but there's no one in season 3 that has emerged, at least to me, as a very clear runaway favorite. And when you're in such a large ensemble, I feel like if someone doesn't like rise to the top and make everyone go like, holy shit, they're incredible, it might hurt her chances. But then again, she's Melanie Linsky, and when you're talking about a potential Emmy nomination, that works in her favor. So I have her at number 6, but clearly she's on the edge for me.
I have her at number 6 as well. And all right, so then Jeff, who's your number 6?
My number 6 is Kerry Russell from The Diplomat.
Yep, she's my number
a
5.
show I have not
Me
watched
too.
a single second of, but voters seem to like Kerry Russell. So
Yes, they do. Yes,
I
they
have
do.
her in the mix this year.
The Emmy voters love Kerry Russell. She is a 4-time Emmy nominee, 1 for the prior season of The Diplomat and 3 for The Americans. Perri Nemiroff, Perri and Kerry, is Kerry on Perry's list.
Number 5.
Number 5 for me as well. Yes.
All right, so we've got the same 6 then.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
curious who your number 1 honorable mentions are, because I bet we all each have like a different one.
My number 1 honorable mention is Nicole Kidman for The Perfect Couple on
Ooh.
Netflix. She's a 2-time Emmy winner for Big Little Lies, and of course an Oscar winner for 2002's The Hours. But I mean, look, our 6 are our 6, so that's it. But any potential spoilers on any of your honorable mentions here?
I have one.
What
Is it Lashana Lynch?
No, it's not actually.
Oh.
Although she was great.
She's
on
great
Dancing.
in everything.
I think just looking at the buzz and reading the tea leaves and everything, I think that if one person could jump into this 6, I think it's Carrie Preston from Elsbeth.
I think that's a very reasonable call.
Yeah.
All right, so
I was thinking Carrie Preston or maybe Sharon Horgan, because I know Bad Sisters has a whole lot of love, and she's phenomenal on everything too. But I don't know; those are just some names that I'm keeping in the back of my mind right now.
keep them in the back of your mind. So our picks for Best Actress in a Drama Series are Kathy Bates for Matlock, Elisabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, Britt Lower for Severance, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, and once again, to recap our picks for Best Actor in a Drama Series, Noah Wyle for The Pitt, Adam Scott for Severance, Sterling K. Brown, got to put the K in there, for Paradise, Diego Luna for Andor, John Hamm for Your Friends and Neighbors, And finally, Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal. Let us know what you think of our picks for outstanding lead actor and actress in a drama series in the comments section. Hit us up on our social media, either P. Nemiroff or Perri Nemiroff on her social media, the In Snyder on his social media, Movie Mance on my social media. Subscribe to Perry's channel below. Hit Jeff's other show, The Hot Mic, up on John Roca's channel, and subscribe to theinsnyder.com. Make sure you join us for the next episode of FYC. Share FYC on your social media platforms, please. And we're closing in on the Emmy nominees, and great to have you with us. We love covering Emmys and Oscars. And until the next episode of FYC,
FY. See you later.
See you later.